Hi everyone, it's August 2nd. I'm going to post this today, and I want to start by going backwards in time. So yesterday I recorded a video on Brian Stelter, and I'm releasing that tomorrow. After that video, I recorded 2 more videos that I have scheduled for the following Wednesdays. So these next 3 Wednesdays are lined up with videos that I recorded yesterday. And last night, I did not get any sleep whatsoever. Well, first, so after I recorded the video on Brian, I went into Google to get a picture of him for the, whatever it's called, the beginning of the video, and I saw a picture of Alex, and the tag below the headline was saying that Alex Jones calls Brian Stelter a spawn of Satan. And I don't know if that's true or not, but I had a tag in my head of Alex, and he was just stuck in my mind all day yesterday. And I went to his website, and I didn't watch any of his videos. I have in the past. I've watched his videos before, and so to kind of explain now, like, my bias, my established bias about Alex is that he's a very interesting person, very complex. I won't say confusing, but he's very complex. He's intelligent. I find him to be very respectable and worthy of respect. I mean, technically, I believe everyone deserves respect. It's just what you do with that starting line of whether you want to lose it or not. So to me, he's definitely earned his place. Because he's one of the few alpha males, I feel, that exist. And, you know, he's just a very interesting person. But I can't say that I agree with everything that he says. Some of his polarizing beliefs or the way that he delivers his information. But I understand why. There is a very good purpose in it, and I feel he's following his purpose, his journey. So why I feel the need to do this video, I guess we'll see. So I was thinking about him all day, like on and off yesterday. And then as I was going to sleep, I started seeing these images, and I don't think I can, I'm not sure if I can really say it explicitly on YouTube. I guess I don't really want to, but I would just say it's the equivalent to the aftermath of war. The graphics of what that may look like for the human body. This is not an image of him, or if I want to switch over, if you read the description or below, or you've been here already, then maybe that'll clear things up, because this is intended as if I were to be doing a video for Alex, so, or a reading for Alex. So it was as if you, Alex, were looking at this on a screen or some sort of photograph, like some sort of still image of the aftermath of war. And so I saw segmented, I don't know why this is, I saw segmented images. So that was one image. And then I saw this other image that I was coming from the perspective of someone little, and the mental space of my perspective is very limited in understanding the world. So this could be a child, it could be an animal, it could also be a spirit, which is interesting because that's not something that I pick up on ever. Like spirits, like it feels like a Casper, like literally a friendly ghost. And the issue I personally have with this is that ghosts should move on with their life. Like they should heal and accept their passing and move on. It's not a good thing, even if a ghost is benevolent to be there. It's just, it's not a good thing. But that's how it feels, is like there's this room and it kind of looks like an old school, it's not really old school, but like a photography room. You know, you have to keep the room dark, because I look up and there's like a white screen or like a white wall. It feels more like a screen, like that vinyl material. And hanging on that vinyl material is a picture. And it looks almost like a police blotter because it's the chest up of a person. It's a man. And it feels like it's black and white to me. That's how it's being explained to me. It's just a black and white, and the guy has dark hair. Like he looks like, it just looks like an old police blotter. And this entity or this soul, this person, this animal, I'm not sure what it is in this room observing it. And they feel scared because there's a break in the door, and outside all this commotion's going on. The lights are on and there's yelling, and I'm hearing like such and such did it this way, or such and such said this. I don't know if it's like Granny said this and Granny did this way, and Granny, like it's it's like that. And so this being that's in that room is afraid of what's happening out there, because they don't really have the capacity to conceptualize what's happening. So that was a separate thing, vision. And then I was being drawn back to, so this is part of the Brian Stelter and some of the other videos, is who's who in the Bible. And I talk about Moses in that video, and I still have not gotten through this, because it's like every paragraph just kind of solidifies in my mind the things that I believe, and it's very difficult to get through, because it's one thing to feel a certain way and to have it kind of confirmed in my own mind, but to have it externally confirmed in such a profound and like spiritual way, like, you know, this in spiritual text, essentially, you know, it's explaining everything. I don't know, it feels very intense for me. So I'm very interested in Hinduism. I need to get through all of this so I can get onto other religions, but it's connecting to what I was saying there, and another video that I recorded yesterday where I was talking about the connection between America and Atlantis, and basically tying everything together that I said yesterday to you, Alex, and tying in another video that I did, two other videos that I did, one on a celebrity, if you want to call him that, where I feel maybe that was they're connected to you. And then another video that I recorded where I don't know the context of it, but I mentioned the founding fathers, specifically George Washington, because I have a bone to pick with that man. And what I believe, that was another celebrity reading, and I mentioned, or no, it was something very recent about like some of the global stuff that I was saying. No, I think it was a celebrity. Either way, it's all interconnected. Like, it's all pointing to you. And so the connections that I was seeing is basically those other videos where there's this constant breakdown of society, and there's multiple reasons why this is occurring. One being to use the population to build what they're desiring and what they need in order to maintain control and progress in their own ways of what they desire, like whatever they want. But the other part too is that they're taking this knowledge and using it elsewhere. They're using it in this other galaxy. So this is kind of like the school of demons in a way, like where people can be birthed and demons can inhabit these bodies if the soul, not the soul, but if the person attempts to allow it, since the soul will always be fighting for that connection back, but the demon will try and use that vessel, that human, to operate here. And so Atlantis and America specifically are connected because Atlantis was the hub of society, where everyone could come and have commerce with all kinds of different groups of people. And America was built similarly to that, Ideally, in a perfect world, that would be the second Atlantis. But the original intention of building this second Atlantis and people backing it was a lie. So what I saw were people like George Washington who were going along with it for those specific reasons, pursuit of happiness, under God, all of this, and yet they had always had that intention to destroy it. But there were essentially like sleeper people, like people who were pretending to be on the side of being a manipulator, but in truth they were trying to reinforce those beliefs so that it could actually happen. Like they truly wanted it, but they were pretending as if, you know, you get what I'm saying. You follow my train of thought. So there's an association there connecting to you. So that was the other separate thing. So then the way that I was seeing you represented was a horse, and it was this beautiful, gorgeous horse, and I can't remember the name of this horse. It's one of my favorites. It's a well-known, it's a workhorse, it's one of the big ones, and it could be called Clandestine, not 100% sure, but I kept getting stuck on the word clandestine. And the image I was getting of you, Alex, was this horse, this specific horse, and it was armored. And I was thinking to myself, what is the etymology behind the word clandestine? I'm very curious about that. And obviously that takes it back to Latin roots. And so then I was thinking, is this trying to indicate to me a Trojan horse? Because then that kind of connects and makes sense to everything else that I had just talked about, because it's kind of like a Trojan horse situation there as well. But I'm not sure. I stopped thinking about that because I didn't get any sleep last night. This was all in the middle of the night last night, and I was thinking, I'll think about it later. But the clandestine kept bothering me and bothering me and bothering me. So I said, I'll look it up. I'll see. And it brought me eventually to the difference between covert action and clandestine activities of the intelligence community. And this is on sgp.fas.org. If this is something anyone who's watching is interested in, you can just look up clandestine military, or I don't know what you want to look up, but it'll eventually show up on that website. So I have not read that yet. I wanted to just go ahead and record this, and then I'll do it on my own time if I feel like it, because my whole reasoning for this video is to get this information to you. It's not to discover you or figure out what really is going on, because this, if it resonates with you, then you would be able to make sense of it better than I could with no context here. So clandestine, basically what I got from when I just kind of glanced at it is essentially you don't need authority. It's kind of like, yeah, I mean, I'm sure you know what clandestine. So what I have to say about that is there's a warning It's not necessarily a warning, it's a reminder that evil doesn't respect you. And they'll never respect you because evil doesn't respect. So don't let your ego get involved in thinking that anyone has any allegiance to you or likes you because of the way that you are, likes you because of your personality or whatever, even if there's like there's disagreements, even if you're not seeing eye to eye. You will never be okay. You will never be a part of it. You will never be a part of this thing. There's no community in it. There even the perception of community isn't real because they're all going to be fighting and clawing against each other. There's no honor there. There's no allegiance there. Even the allegiance to anything of darkness is a selfish allegiance that eventually, just as Satan wants to be the new god, these demons also want Satan's role as well. So there's no convincing if there's no real change. They're giving me two things. They're giving me the numbers 911 and this cartoon image in my mind where you're represented as kind of like Popeye, you know, like he's like when he eats the spinach and he's like big. So it's like you're Popeye and then there's tons of people behind you that are represented as similar build, and they're marching through a crowd. And as they're marching through the crowd, they're knocking people down. And these people are crying, they're upset. And the marching line gets longer and longer and longer. And the perception from the viewer is that these people who are marching are bullies. Why? Like it's all of the thoughts you would circulate of witnessing this. But then the perception changes because as you look at the line of marching people, they're all different shapes and all different sizes, and it goes on so long, keeps going, and there's this shift of that the people who are being perceived as being bullied are actually is like learned helplessness, and that like it was wrong. The whole perception was incorrect, right? You are not the bully. The people marching are not the bullies. And so when I'm seeing 911, I'm seeing it as basically saying, which you can look up whatever the meaning is for that, or if that's some other kind of significant reason for that. But what I'm being told is it's like, keep it moving. Keep it moving. 911, keep it moving. Keep it moving. Keep going to the top. Keep going to where you're going. Keep you know, like when people need to get on board or get on with it. And eventually, because the line is so long and just keeps going, eventually those people that are getting knocked down, like they had a choice to move, they didn't want to move. And so eventually their perception will change, or they'll just go somewhere else. So you just have to keep going and don't slow down. Don't wait on trying to change every single person or pick everybody up, like something like that. Just keep going. That's a big message from your guardian angels. And it feels like your passed away loved ones working with your guardian angels and saying that we really need you to keep going. We really need you to not give up and to just keep going. Don't misplace your energy onto people or ideas that are going to absorb your energy, because that's your ego, which is, in spiritual terms, evil in a lot of ways. It serves its purpose here, but spiritually speaking, and in context for what's going on with what I see, what it's doing is it's a manipulation tactic on you, because then you're wasting your time. It's like another example that I'm getting in my mind is like two competitors that are selling the same thing. And so one person from the competitor's business comes over and gets in line and just starts asking you all these questions about your equipment or about whatever you're selling, all this stuff. And so all the people that are waiting in line to get something, they get frustrated and they just go to the competitor. So they're just wasting your time, so people don't, you know, you get what I'm saying. So that's another message there. So I'm gonna take a moment to myself and sit here and see if anything actually comes through, because this is all kind of jumbled in from what I was seeing earlier and what I see now. So give me a minute. Alright, instead I just pulled cards, so we're gonna look at them. I could have just done this on camera, but I wasn't sure what I wanted to do. So, Archangel Haniel, notice the moon. Notice how the moon affects your energy and manifestations, and capitalize upon these cycles. You know what to do, Archangel Uriel. Trust your inner knowledge and act upon it without delay. You know how like when people are really passionate or they're about to fight, that's kind of what I'm seeing is, you know how when they're about to fight and they take their fists and they pound their chest, they're pounding their chest. It's like a war cry. And I see this here because I'm being drawn to, I don't know what this is on her, and I see the bracelet, and I see this movement of her clanging these together. It's like a battle cry where you're making a lot of noise. Like you make a lot of noise is what I'm hearing. Is like don't be quiet. Make a lot of noise. And this card specifically, like every time I see it, I always think about the Father, the Son, and the Holy Ghost. That's what I see with this card, and the connection there. And then you know what to do. I think this is extraordinarily straightforward. It's believing in and taking action when you feel you need to, you know, it's a very clear thought. That's what I feel. Very clear inner vision, and I'm gonna wait a minute and see what's going on here. So this is advice, further advice, and I'm just going to close it up here because this is what I feel I should say. So it's saying to me, your guardian angels, who is this? It's a legion of angels. And you're not wrong to believe that these darker entities and these people who work for these darker entities find you to be very annoying. They find you to be very, very annoying. And they are being represented as snickering at you, sneering at you, and snickering. And above them is this legion of angels. Your guardian angels, passed away loved ones, these like your soul family that are represented as still on the other side. And I can feel the energy of the higher hierarchy of angels. I don't see them. I don't even see their energy because it's so vibrant, so pure, so true. And they look at this interference, and it's this smile that I see. The smile that I see because they're so proud of you, and they see how trivial these and weak these entities are, and how you are so wise. You are so wise and so well practiced in their dealings. There's no and there's someone that kind of intervened that, like it's like a soul family member. They intervened, and it's a male figure, and he stepped forward and kind of like laughed and said, well, he did step off beat for a moment there. Like it was like I was like, yeah, you know, you get it, everything, you know, you're not falling for it, but you did step off beat a couple moments there. And he says it in jest. Because ultimately they respect you. They value your, they're saying, techniques and positions is what they're highlighting. And I'm hearing you were here before, you were always here before. And you've always been very annoying. In a good way. You're annoying to people that, like, it's like you're irritating the darkness. You're irritating. It's like when you connect to spirit, when you connect to the soul of someone, all of the things that people try and hide away about themselves, or they try and mask, or they try and ignore, or they try and entertain without being called out on it, shivers. It's a shivering, it's a shattering of that. And it's very annoying from their perspective because they don't want to deal with it. They don't want, you know. And the what I see here in these is, this is you. The King of Swords is you. And you're taking this sword, and I can see these leaves here, and I see these here. But what it feels like is like you at the right moment, and this is just kind of indicating who you are, but and to continue this is always at the right moment, always trust in the right moment, and you know when to do this, and you know what to do, and you can use all the techniques that you've gathered through lifetimes and connecting to spirit, because this is ultimately through divine order, through divine guidance. You'll know when to do this every single time. You will always strike at the right moment is what I'm hearing. You'll always strike at the right moment. And then I saw, when I said that, this image of you striking a stone and it sending off sparks. And they're saying that striking of the stone was not incorrect. Don't think that wasn't creating a storm where it needed to, because in truth, when you struck that stone, there were these birds. It alerted the birds, and the birds flew off. They got scared. And because that alerted these warriors that were coming for you, then that set off a war behind you that you weren't aware of, because you didn't get that message delivered to you. And that stopped the battle before it even came to you. So don't look at that as incorrect. You don't see what we see. You aren't seeing the greater order of things at every single moment. So don't focus on that. Just keep going, keep going, keep going. And so here it's this moment of you striking this wood, I'll say these sticks, and what happens is this downfall, this crumbling of this building, because of the way that you struck it. And I'm looking at this building, and it's transforming into a tree. And so in turn, you struck the tree, broke it down, and these people, they're parasites. Is how they're being represented. These parasites came falling down and consumed and nourished the soil. It ended up, what you did benefits the world. That's it. It's like, you got it. You got it. You got it. Rest assured that you are doing everything at the right moment. Don't second guess yourself. Don't give yourself that moment to second guess yourself. Don't distract yourself. don't think that you have to overcompensate or do more in other areas or other arenas, because when you walk, that's what they're saying, is like when you walk out on stage, that is your arena. You're the champion. You are the champion. There's no one like you. There was no one ever like you. And this is time after time and lifetime after lifetime after lifetime. You are very much nearly always that same person, that same man is stepping forward again. And he's saying that again. It's like the one who was saying you're offbeat a little bit. He's like, you're always like that. Rambunctious. It's giving me this image of, I don't know who it is. It's someone's significant figure. I can't think of who. Oh, it's reminding me of Steve Irwin. Steve Irwin, there was the story of how he was always like climbing trees as a kid, and his parents essentially cultivated that part of him, right? They didn't try and tone him down. They allowed him to express himself in those ways and scare them all the time because of his antics and his thirst for his passion. And so they're relating you to that. And here I see what happens when these rods fall, these sticks fall, is it builds a bridge. It builds a bridge to this home back there. And I heard the word sanctity, and I said sanctuary, and I was correct. I said no, sanctity. And someone saying, you're so on the money, it hurts. That's what someone said. You're so on the money, it hurts. And they're showing me, to emphasize this, and then I'll close it up, is those entities, those darker entities, are just childlike. Is it? To perceive them and to remember them as childlike. You know, the mischievous child that doesn't know right from wrong. And you know, in truth, I mean, it's I'm talking about them in spirit. It's not necessarily in flesh, because there are obviously real world consequences and just terrible suffering because of this. But in truth, they don't know any better. In truth, that's what I see for them, is that they're just mischievous. They're still so young. Their soul is so young. And they have to be shown proper guidance. And they don't see what's they don't see that they're being led to a better upbringing, is what I'm saying. Is like these young souls will it's like this spiritual, it's okay, they're showing me like a school, okay, and this school has these people, these children. I've talked about this before. this is pretty much what I see of the journey of everyone, but this is very relevant for how they are towards you, where they're ganging up on you. They don't know any better. And so these adult figures, these teachers are teaching them, like, you know, they're not giving them harsh parenting. They're not, or like teachings, like time out or anything, which isn't really harsh, but they're just kind of watching these souls, and like maybe one is really a bad soul, because not a bad soul, but a bad kid, because they're bored. So then this higher spirit comes in and gives them something to entertain their mind. Or maybe one kid is, you know, whatever kind of thing that they're lacking. And so these angels are coming in to provide them with the things that can help them feel at peace, so they aren't causing chaos. And so to keep that in mind, bear that in mind ultimately, that they are at their core innocent. In the soul's truth, the soul itself is innocent. The soul itself, it's the attachments around them, the you get what I'm saying. There's a hidden message left that I'm trying to look at right now. One last message. You're gonna strike again very soon. You could allow yourself to look comfortable again if you'd like, but kind of prepare yourself, because I'll tell you exactly how it's being shown to me. See how in this card has his hand resting on his outfit, and that's on top of the armrest. So they're showing me, like, you can just make sure that when you jump back up, because you're going to have to get up again and strike again, that you don't put pressure on your armrest, because then that could kind of slow you down or kind of distract you. So that even though the outcome will be very good, it won't be as precise, it won't be as perfect. It'll still be very, very good and very effective. It just, you would kind of have some regrets. Be like, well, it turned out great, but I wish I would have done something a little bit differently, just for the sake of having peace of mind, I guess, of like knowing you did everything in perfect harmony, because I guess that's the way that mentally you function, or at least in this situation. So they're saying you could go ahead and get comfortable if you want, and kind of tuck that into your chair so that you could put your hand on the armrest, and you know, that might, just for entertainment's sake for you, make it even more, like, kind of feed your ego, but in like a positive way, because it'll just make you feel good, like, oh, I look so even more put together, you really didn't expect it, kind of thing. Or just be aware that you're doing that, so that when you jump up, you don't do what I said. You get it? Repeating myself so much here. That's why, and this one other thing I see, this looks like a climbing, I don't know if you can see it in this card, it looks like a climbing demon to me. This little outline here is disguised as a lightning bolt, I guess. I think that's supposed to be a lightning bolt, but it looks like this praying mantis demon that's trying to climb back up, and it's lit on fire. It is trying to go back up there, and it'll appear, that's what I'm hearing, is like it'll appear as if it survives. It'll appear as if it's like doing something that can affect whatever it is that I'm referring to. But what it's actually going to end up doing is, it's like if a person on fire starts chasing people and holding on to them, it's going to catch them on fire too. So that's, they're just going to self-sabotage at that point. So that's just a side note, because you're not even, that's not even going to be a concern for you when this happens. It's like, I got it. But if you notice that happening, just know that that's the outcome. They're just going to set themselves on fire, set other people on fire that may have survived this cutting of the wood. Okay, that's what I got for you, and that's it. Bye.